right-hand drive track day. I get the track all to myself.
Hey everyone, you know, the Rolex game is completely out of control right now. It is all supply and demand is high and supply is low. And look, if you've got the hookup at the authorized dealer for those new steel Rolexes that nobody can get, by all means, take it. But if you're like me and you have no hookup, you're a regular person and you want to get in that game, you need to go somewhere trusted. The internet can be a sketchy place for buying watches, and I don't recommend buying from strangers. You need to go to a trusted source like Bob's Watches. That's where I buy all of my watches. They have in-house watchmakers making sure that their inventory is authentic. That's very important, that it's freshly serviced, that it works well, that it's exactly as represented. When you go to Bob's website, the watch you see on the screen is the watch you are buying. It's not stock photos or anything like that. They have a beautiful photography set up there to make sure they capture every one of the angles of these watches and make sure that they are honestly represented on the site. Some of the watches are like new. Some of the watches are used. There is an option for everybody. Steel, gold, two-tone, and more than just Rolex. They've got Omega, Cartier, Panerai, Patek Philippe, and more. And if you can dream it, Bob's can find it. They can source the watch you're looking for if you don't see it on their website. Go to bobswatches.com/TST and see some of my personal favorite picks from Bob's collection, like this amazing steel and black dial Sky Dweller I'm wearing today, some of the hottest meteorite and black mother of pearl dials on the market. I love those black mother of pearls. bobswatches.com/TST. Hit the link in the video description to see my favorites at Bob's, and thanks to Bob's Watches for sponsoring today's video.
Well, good morning, everybody, and what a treat. I have the rare privilege of being out here at this all GTR and Skyline track day. The guys at Top Rank invited me to try this amazing build that you can buy. This is the Built by Legends GTR R32 Skyline. And what that means is Built by Legends is rebuilding OEM plus vehicles with the help, cooperation, and engineering ability of legendary Japanese tuners. In the case of the GTR, it's MINES, which you've probably heard of if you've ever seen Best Motoring, or in the case of the Civic, it's going to be Spoon, who I'm sure you've heard of. This car was completely stripped. It's a very low mileage car to begin with, completely stripped down to the chassis, spot welded and reinforced. It has a MINES built 2.8 liter RB engine with twin turbos, mildly upgraded, not oversized, with all the kind of good bolt-ons and forged internals. It has a 5-speed gearbox. It has the HICAS locked out, so it's just a front wheel steer, not 4-wheel steer, okay? It's got a coilover suspension. It's got brakes from the R35 GTR, raised wheels, a completely redone interior, again, to look like OEM plus. It's got a clutch that's upgraded but streetable, and we're gonna run some laps at Streets of Willow. So here we go. I have to go windows down. I apologize for that. Right-hand drive track day. I get the track all to myself. Suspension is firm but not abusive. And we're gonna just kind of work our way up and see what this is like. Oh wow, the brake feel is superior. The engine is so smooth, the RB engine. It makes about 500 horsepower in this guise with about 360 pound-feet of torque. And what that means is not crazy, I gotta fix this, sorry. Not crazy power, but the MINES folks said what it's about is brilliant response, right? It's about the throttle response, which is good in the stock car, but can be a little lazy. Here, even just off of idle, I can feel that it takes less throttle to get her going. Oh wow, there's a photographer in kind of a sketchy place. What's immediately coming to my mind, even on the opening lap, is the smoothness. The engine is so smooth. That's something I've always loved about the RB engines, and by increasing the displacement by 0.2 liters rather than by increasing the boost, you maintain a beautiful power band just with a little more torque and a little bit better response. Here we go. Shifting at 6 to get her going. Red line is at 8, but I'm just kind of working my way up. This is a privately owned car, so I'm not really trying to push the limits of it. These lightweight raised wheels, we've got Bridgestone RE71 RS tires on there. That's a new tire that has been out in Japan, but is only just going to be released in the US very soon. Even if I get the power down to under 3,000, I've got pretty good torque there coming out of that. The steering is really nice and sharp. Coilover suspension working well. They've also upgraded the sway bars and they've freshened all the bushings. It's not Delrin or something crazy. They're just all brand new stock bushings. Very, very predictable. Really nice linear power. Linear power. Easy to downshift. Nice with the heel toe. The pedal spacing is excellent. God, this is fucking great. Such a nice car. Sounds good, not too loud. A little yumpy when you hit the bumps there. I really love how linear the power is. The RB26 engine, I mean, either in stock guise or in this particular stroker guise, is such a more modern engine that, I mean, this is a 1992, this car. You would absolutely never know it from this engine. Just brilliant. Really easy to modulate the power. Really nice in the back and forths. Fluid. Fluid is how I would describe it. Delightfully predictable. The smoothness, it's like, it reminds me of almost like a 911, how you feel like you could just rev the snot out of it all day long and not kill it. But here we go. From second, 4,000. Once you get past 5,000, that's where the good shit happens. Boy, is that guy in a sketchy place. These photographers are bold today. The shifter feel is excellent. The steering wheel is the stock size and shape, which is the perfect steering wheel. But they've done a little suede inserts on the hand positions. Really, really nice. The OEM seat has been recovered, but that holds you in beautifully. I wouldn't need more seat. There's just a little bit too short on the headroom for my tall ass with a helmet, but without a helmet, it's brilliant. What a fucking car, man. Just Beautiful. power delivery is exceptional. Whoa! I'm not one to run vintage cars on the track, but man, could I have a fun track day in this thing. This car is great. And oh, by the way, have I mentioned they took 260 pounds out of the car? It's got a carbon hood, a carbon front clip, a dry carbon trunk, and that means that as on the curb weight is 2,990 pounds. It is under 3,000 pounds. The R32 is already a very light car considering the power and the fact that it's all-wheel drive, but to take out 260 pounds and end up with a 2,990 pound car with 500 inline 6 horsepower and all-wheel drive is extraordinary. Absolutely extraordinary. Wow, I want one of these. That's just fucking delightful, folks. Really delightful. The inputs are so good. The steering is so precise. The fact that it has R35 brakes, that's like a 3,800 pound car. So when those brakes are stopping a car that is significantly lighter, they really just don't have nearly as much work to do, which means they'll last longer. A little jumpy on that very bumpy section there. But everywhere else, everywhere where the surface is good and you're not going full throttle, the power, the balance, the inputs, the braking, it doesn't have too much of any one thing. Get down. Oh, I am having the best time ever. This is phenomenal. I love Skylines, and this is the best one. Oh my God, when they get their hands on an R34, it's going to be unstoppable. They have an option for short gears too. They can do a short gear set. This one has stock gears. Just delightful. Delightful. How do you not, I mean, oh man. This was like the cheater car in Gran Turismo. And here we are, real life, having to go on the track. And just, I'm thinking about every other car of this period, or even the middle 90s. There's my checker. I'm going to do a little cool downer. When you think about what else was available from this time period versus this, it's off the chain. Now, there is an asterisk on all of this. Like I said, Built by Legends is building these, and you can buy them. How much? $450,000. $450,000. So it's not quite Singer, it's not quite Gunther, it's not trying to be either of those things. Remember, I said it's OEM plus. It's not reimagined. The interior is not noticeably upgraded from stock. It's not a highlight reel of a company's best models, right? It's what it is like to have a brand new off the showroom floor GTR sent to one of the most legendary tuner companies of all time and modified in the way they would modify it. Optimized. for balance, for performance and balance. And is that a shit ton of money? Yes, it is an unbelievable amount of money. That includes the car. They'll provide the car, so at least there's that. But $450,000 is a ridiculous amount of money. We're talking about a home in many places in America. Now, having said that, they've already sold 5. So there are takers, okay? People have signed up for this, and after driving it, I can see why. Because it's done. It's a car that is just fully done. And to be able to buy a car that is restored to showroom plus condition does have value. So whether or not you think it's worth $450,000 depends honestly on how much money you've got. To some people, that is all the money in the world, myself included. To other people, that's reasonable and not that much. And so you gotta do your own kind of evaluations of that. But what I can tell you is that to drive the Built by Legends GTR by MINES is an extraordinary experience, not just because it's some crazy one-trick pony, but because of the incredible balance that it offers, and the completeness. There's no squeaks or rattles. There's no weird vibrations. There's nothing about it that's questionable or sketchy or that you have to worry about later. It's just done. So thank you to my friends at Top Rank Importers, to the lovely gentlemen from MINES and from Built by Legends that invited me out to Willow Springs today to drive this car. What an experience. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful car. Judge for yourself if it's worth the money, but what a beautiful car, absolutely undeniably. So thanks to you for watching, and I'll see you later.
And remember, always fight your tickets. Use code TST10 on the Off the Record app available in the Android and iOS store, or go to offtherecord.com/TST.